From Boerne Stadium on the edge of the Texas Hill Country, it's Friday night Texas high school football. Tonight, a battle between familiar foes as the Boerne Greyhounds host the Eagles from Pleasanton. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Alexander alongside my partner and buddy, Kerry Barboza. Kerry, we mentioned these are familiar opponents. Now, these two teams were in the same district a year ago, and they played an absolute classic before the Greyhounds finally came out on top.
Yeah, and actually been in the same district the last two alignments, so the last 4 years, and they all Boerne has won all four, but the first three were kind of blowouts. But like you said, last year's was a heck of a game, a 39-31 overtime win by the Greyhounds. That was close. Part of what Pleasanton had was it had a really good running back, Revelo, who graduated, unfortunately, for Pleasanton. He had 151 yards on 32 carries, so he had quite a night, but that was a heck of a game. And, talking to Coach Hendricks about it, I said, well, why did you put them on the schedule since, you don't have to play them. They're not in your district. He said, we like that game. We like that rivalry. We want to keep it going, so they're looking forward to it.
It's a good one for the fans, of course. Boerne comes in tonight at 1-0 after coming from behind to beat Flower Bluff, and Flower Bluff went to the 5A semifinals a year ago. That victory for Boerne was last Thursday by a score of 35-32. Remember, the Bluff is a really powerful team, and Kerry, they jumped out to a 17-7 lead, and it looked like that thing was really going, and then the Greyhounds came back with 28 unanswered points.
Yeah, and Boerne had a rough start. They had a sophomore starting at quarterback. He had a couple picks in that first half, but he settled down. Jackson Bays, he settled down and had a great game. He threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 more, and so he kind of righted the ship. And I think the biggest thing for him, talking to Coach Hendricks, was just the speed of the game. For a sophomore making his first varsity start, he said, yeah, he had the right reads on those interceptions, but the window was small, and he has to hit that window. And I think he adjusted as the game went on. I think the whole team really adjusted. Those guys that hadn't seen varsity speed, because there's nothing you can do to replicate varsity speed. No practice, no spring drills, no nothing, no 7-on-7. It's just the game itself. And so they adjusted, they did well, and like you said, second half, had a great second half and pulled out that win against a very good team.
Okay, so a good come-from-behind win for the Greyhounds. Pleasanton dropped its opener to San Antonio Antonian Prep 29-12. Now, the Eagles actually led 12-7 after one quarter and then did not score a point for the rest of the game. Antonian's a tough team. Matter of fact, Antonian will play Boerne a week from tonight.
Right. Boerne will be in San Antonio, like you said, Paul, playing the Apaches. And a good start for Pleasanton. Went up 12-7 in that first quarter, but then didn't score anything the rest of the way. So, Coach Hendricks looked at that film and said, okay, what did Antonian do? How did they shut them down going forward? What was the key to their success? So I'm sure they scouted that game and will maybe try to put some of that into today's game.
Boerne, the defending champ in District 14 4A Division I. Last year they beat Canyon Lake and Corpus Christi Miller in the playoffs. Then they lost in the third round to Austin LBJ. But they have playoff expectations once again, and Boerne will kick off to start the ball game. And Pleasanton will get the football first, kicking off for Boerne, Joe Ballinger, who has a big leg. And the kickoff return men for Pleasanton are Diego Luna and Isaac Hendrickson. Boerne defending the north end of the field here at Boerne ISD Stadium, and a beautiful facility it is. And we got a good night for football. It's been a warm afternoon. The wind is negligible. That will not be a factor. Awaiting the whistle. Ballinger approaches the ball, and with that, we are playing the great game. It's a pretty good kickoff. Going to be taken at about the 6-yard line and returned up the right side. Big hit as the return man puts the ball on the ground. That's a loose ball, and it looks like Boerne has recovered. What a break for the Greyhounds on the opening kickoff. That looked to be a pretty decent return, but that was a big old pop, and the ball got loose, and Boerne will immediately have the football in excellent field position.
And I think Ballinger's the one that ended up with it, the kicker. He was running downfield, and the ball kind of popped forward, rolled a good 10 yards, and I think it popped right into Ballinger's hands.
All right, so immediately we see the Boerne offense that scored 35 points and had 267 yards total offense a week ago. Jackson Bays, the sophomore quarterback, really showed some mettle last week. Got off to a good start, then threw a couple of picks, including a pick six, and got right back on the horse. So the line of scrimmage is the 39, and we've got movement and contact before the snap.
And I thought last week, the Greyhounds did a good job of not having a lot of, well, and this time it was Pleasanton, but I thought both games I saw last week, the Boerne ISD teams, both of them did a good job with pre-snap penalties, that sort of thing, offsides, motion stuff, but where they struggled, it seemed, was snaps on deep punts and kickoffs and all that. I had one game where there was 3 missed extra points, so all of that is about getting better and get ready for this week.
5 yards on the offside penalty, so it's 1st and 5 with the ball at the 34-yard line. Bays wants to throw right side, got a man wide open on the slant. It's complete to Caleb Cloutier, and it's always good when your young quarterback gets off to a good start in rhythm and you give him an easy pass to complete, really builds his confidence up.
Yeah.
And that'll clear for the first down at about the 23-yard line.
And good job by that line, given Bays time. He just stood in that pocket, stayed calm, looked for the open guy, found him, made a nice throw.
It'll carry down to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. 2 receivers to the far side, running play. Coming right side on the carry is Adam Hicks, and he's got modest yardage on 1st down.
Adam Hicks.
We'll see some platooning. Hicks will be one of the backs in there. Gentry also will spend some time in there. Hicks had a touchdown last week.
Yes, he did. He also rushed for 56 yards on 12 carries. Wide receiver screen, near side. Is it complete and a fumble? Nope, they're going to rule it incomplete. That was pretty close.
Yeah, that was.
Jackson Bays is
Pleasanton, they're saying it was a fumble.
I can understand how they feel that way.
Yeah.
That was really a difficult call. I'm not sure he ever completely put the ball away cleanly. Anyway, the call is incomplete. So it's 3rd and almost a full 10 with the nose of the ball at the 22. Just underway here in Boerne on week number 2 of the high school football season. Boerne 1-0 after beating Flower Bluff. Pleasanton 0-1 after dropping one to Antonian. Bays the quarterback on 3rd down. Pleasanton shows blitz. Here it comes. Bays steps up, steps through the blitzer, but then takes a pretty good pop down and around the 21-yard line. And after that, he may not even have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So after giving up that fumble on the opening kickoff, the Pleasanton defense stiffens, and it's going to be 4th down.
Well, 3rd and 10, obvious passing situation. So they know they got a sophomore quarterback there. So Pleasanton defense, they want to bring the pressure. And they did, and Bays recognized that he stepped up, just no room for him to go.
This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt for Ballinger. Houston Hendricks, the holder. Snaps on its way, down cleanly. The ball is in the air. Does it have enough? It does. So the field goal is good, and after recovering a fumble on the opening kickoff, the Greyhounds end up with 3 points, so they've got the early jump. They lead it 3-0. Back in just a moment on the Greyhound Sports Network.
I'm Stan Leach, Boerne ISD Athletic Director, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
The Dog and Pony Grill has been committed to the Boerne community for over 10 years. And in that time, we've grown, but we've always stayed true to our roots, just like all of y'all. Live music, great food, and the most fun for all Greyhounds fans. Stop by.
So after recovering a fumble on the opening kickoff, short scoring drive for the Boerne Greyhounds, capped off by a 38-yard field goal by Joe Ballinger. And he handles the kickoff duties as well. And a fair catch is going to be made. And, of course, you can do that now. And it's a touchback, brings it out to the 25-yard line. That fair catch made by Diego Luna. So we'll get our first look at the Pleasanton offense, which last week generated only 197 total yards in their loss to Antonian. And they had a particularly tough time running the football. Their quarterback is a good one, senior Sean Ramos, who actually had a pretty good week last Friday night against Antonian. He was 17 of 34 for 116 yards, and he did throw a touchdown pass in the first quarter. Line of scrimmage, the 25 from the shotgun. Ramos has protection, now floats to the near side. They're in a scramble drill. He throws it to the near side and overthrows his intended receiver. That was Isaac Hendrickson, that the pass was intended for, falls incomplete.
Well, they only had 2 receivers out there, so they were basically double covered, most of them, and so just not a lot of options at that point. He did a good job extending the play by rolling out of the pocket, but just 2 men and none of them open, so tough throw there.
All right, so after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Once again, they have 2 receivers to the near side. Ramos flushes right this time, looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield, and is blasted out of bounds. That's Houston Hendricks on the hit. You'll see a lot of that, that's for sure. There are a lot of Hendrickses in this organization, are there not, Kerry?
Yep, sure is. There's 2 that play and 1 that coaches.
Their head coach, Shea Hendricks, absolutely.
2 Hendrickses on the team, 2 Bases on the team.
So the keep net's 2 yards. So it's 3rd and 8 from the 27-yard line. Ramos sets up, pulls the trigger, has a completion, and he's struggling for first down yardage. That's a really good effort by Diego Luna, as the pass was complete well short of first down yardage, and he took a shot about 2 yards behind the stake, and he may not have it anyway, but that was an excellent effort and really a pretty good job by the Boerne defense to keep him from getting the first down. Going to be 4th and 1, and the Eagles are going to have to punt the ball away, already trailing 3-0.
Greyhounds brought pressure. Hendricks comes from the outside, but Ramos does a good job reading it, makes the throw, and like you said, good effort by the receiver, but just not able to get that first down. Michael
Castillo, the punter. It's an end-over-end kind of helicopter punt, but it's going to take a great roll inside the 20. It's going to be killed just inside the 15-yard line. So at least they flipped the field position, and we'll keep it here as Boerne takes the ball for the 2nd time tonight. They lead it 3-0. They got on the board pretty quickly on a 38-yard field goal by Joe Ballinger.
52-yard punt. That was a good one. Boerne did not have anybody back because they didn't expect. They were, I think, were concerned that Pleasanton might try to go for it on 4th and 1. They didn't. And that's the downside of not having anybody back, is you don't get any kind of return, fair catch it. If the ball takes a good roll, you're gonna pay for it.
All right, so the Greyhounds have a 3-0 lead, but they've yet to register a first down. Play fake, throw, far side, complete. Receiver trying to kick out of that one, and that's Braden Bays. So that's Bays to Bays on the completion. And that's going to net about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4. Clock running. Quarter number 1 as we get down around the 9-minute mark.
I talked to both Bays boys after last week's game, and I said, what's it like playing with your brother? And they both said it's great. You know, we grew up playing football, flag football, Little League, everything. And we know each other. We know where the other's going to be. We can know without even talking, just by a look. So they have a special chemistry there.
2nd and 4. Give off left guard, running room, first down, across the 30, across the 35, to about the 37-yard line.
Looks like T.J. Dement.
T.J. Dement, who caught a touchdown pass on the 2nd play of the game last week against Flower Bluff. Very versatile player. Can play the fullback position, is an excellent receiver. And he got the first down out at the 36-yard line. Bays, play fake, throws deep, miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. Just didn't read it the same way. That one floats incomplete.
Well, that time the Bays boys were on a different page. That's something you rarely see, but yeah, Braden cut the route off.
Yeah.
And then Jackson threw it deep.
Yeah, I think what happened there is probably that was a fly route that was called, and you have the option to convert it to a hitch. And as you said, they just didn't see it the same way. On 2nd down, we've got a whistle and a flag, maybe a motion penalty.
So far, it's been the Joe Ballinger show. He had the kickoff, had the fumble recovery.
Yeah.
He had the field goal. Then he had the other kickoff. So that was a busy 2 minutes for a kicker.
Boy, you could see what a live leg he has in that game last week against Flower Bluff.
Well, I showed you a soccer thing that I had, and he was on that state championship soccer team. So he knows how to win.
5-yard walk-off, 2nd and 15 from the 31. Bays throws near side. Beautiful throw and catch. That's a nice job on the completion to Brooks Perez. And you talk about a quarterback and receiver being on the same page. That was a wonderfully run route and a perfect throw, and it's going to net a first down out at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, he slid, but he slid, I think, right at the first down marker.
From the pistol, inside zone running play. Chance Gentry on the carry. And that's worth your time there. That's a 4-yard gain right to midfield.
And you'll see a lot of different backs. Chance Gentry, Adam Hicks, T.J. DeMent. Not so much last week, but this week. They're trying to keep guys fresh is what they're trying to do.
Gentry, the lone back, standing alongside the quarterback, Jackson Bays. And it'll be Gentry once again on that inside zone running play. This time he gets exactly nothing, no gain. So it'll be 3rd and about 6, almost 7 from midfield.
It was a little slow in developing. Pleasanton read it well. Got some big boys up front, the Eagles do there. And so do the Greyhounds for that matter, but that was well defended by Pleasanton.
Okay, on 3rd down. Greyhounds send 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Bays has time, wants to throw, pulls the trigger, complete. Inside the 40, inside the 35 goes Chance Gentry, and that's a difficult play for a defense to cover with the back coming out and running that wheel route.
Yeah, kind of that wheel route out of that backfield, and it was a good catch by Gentry. Good job holding on. He gets the first down.
At the 32-yard line. This drive started back at the Boerne 14. Greyhounds trying to add to a 3-0 lead. Again, inside zone running play, this time to Adam Hicks. And he's got a little daylight up the middle. And he gets the ball inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. Clock running with just at 6 minutes remaining here in the opening period.
Well, we're only 4 minutes, you're about halfway through, and you've already seen 3 different running backs for the Greyhounds. And that was one thing that Coach Hendrick talked about last week is conditioning, trying to get guys, keeping them fresh in that 4th quarter.
They ran for 145 total rushing yards last week against Flower Bluff. Okay, this time, nifty play fake there, and it ends up being a design quarterback running play, and Bays takes it down to about the 25-yard line. He's still shy of first down yardage, but only by about 2 yards.
Initial contact for the defense was made by.
You might be in 2-down territory here, 3rd and looks like 3, so you might have 2 cracks at this.
Bays standing back at his 30-yard line. Looks left side, throws, has a man wide open, nifty move. That's the other Bays on the receiving end, and we have a late flag carry that might be a face mask.
Yeah, came out, and it was because of the move that the Bays boy made there, Braden, and just I think the Pleasanton defender kind of reached.
The other thing I'm noticing, Kerry, look at how much room the Pleasanton cornerbacks are giving these receivers. They're making these hitch routes and slant routes relatively easy.
Yeah, he was 10 yards off, and so that was an easy throw right there. It looks like they're going to pick it up. Nope, it is. They are going to mark it off here.
Yeah, it did look like a face mask.
Yeah, they might have to come up, maybe jam the receivers a little bit more instead of giving them that cushion, because they're right now they're nickel and diming them, and it's working because they're moving the ball down the field.
On first down, the give is to Adam Hicks, and he hits the seam quickly, takes a pretty good pop inside the 5 down around the 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal. And the Greyhounds get quickly to the line of scrimmage. This has been a long drive. As I said, it started back at the Greyhound 19-yard line. Bays gives it off inside to Hicks, and he meets a solid interior of that Eagle defense. And we're going to move on to 3rd down.
Hicks just a sophomore, but definitely playing a big role on the varsity this year.
Third and goal from the 2-yard line.
Mark it at the 2.
Got Houston Hendricks in there lined up as a receiver on that left side.
Yeah, we've got some bulk in there with some tight ends now too. So Bays initially had a man open, passed that one up, and he'll just skip it into the end zone himself for a 2-yard touchdown. He may have had an open receiver, but he decided the sure thing was let me just run the ball into the end zone to cap off an 81-yard scoring drive.
Yeah, he had Hicks wide open there. He saw him. He kind of looked him off and tried to look somewhere else. I don't know if Hicks was the primary receiver, but anyway, he recognized that there was room in front of him, a little bit of real estate. Didn't need much, and he got the touchdown.
Ballinger on for his second PAT, or actually had a field goal earlier, so his first PAT, but he extends the Greyhound lead to 10-0. 3:42 here left in the opening period. Back in a moment on the Greyhound Sports Network.
I'm Goldberg, WWE Hall of Famer. You're watching Greyhound Sports Network. Who's next?
School safety is very important, and it's up to us to work together as a team to prevent bad things from happening.
That is why when you see something, say something. If you see or hear about dangerous or suspicious activity which could potentially put our students, staff, or visitors in danger, you should tell an adult immediately. Make sure you tell your teacher, your principal, or your SRO, or even your parents.
Greyhounds quickly up by 10. Scoring drive. Information from Kerry.
13-play drive, 13 plays, 86 yards, took 5:46, so took almost the whole half a quarter off on that one drive. And that was following a 52-yard punt where Pleasanton had him pinned at the 19, so that was a good drive for them, or at the 14, excuse me.
Here's Ballinger with the kick, end over end, going to be taken at about the 10-yard line and returned up the far sideline. And it's a decent return out to about the 30-yard line. All right, so we'll get another look at a Pleasanton Eagle offense that hasn't done much yet. And Kerry, you kind of get the feeling that they need to respond right now.
Yeah, because they had a fumble on the opening drive, on the opening kickoff, and then they went 3 and out. So they don't even have a first down here. So yeah, they got to keep their defense off the field, and offense has to try to sustain something just to give the defense a rest.
Line of scrimmage is the 30. Running play coming near side and gets a gain of only about a yard, and the entire interior of that Greyhound defense converges. They had some great efforts defensively last week. They really, really did. Like, for example, their sophomore linebacker, Hudson Hendricks, another one of those Hendrickses, the Express News Defensive Player of the Week. He had 16 tackles and also had a fumble recovery for a 28-yard scoop and score.
Yep. Oh, all kinds of movement. That was not clean at all.
Well, it was 2nd and 8, so now it's going to be 2nd and 13.
You think of that last drive, the Eagles were 4th and 1. It's tough to go for it this early and that deep in your own field at the 34, but they punted and
well, you can't really criticize the decision to punt because they flipped the field. It's just what happened after that.
Yeah. Just wonder if they'd reconsider that.
Yeah, well, they would now. Yeah. All right, 2nd and 13. It's an excellent defensive secondary for the Greyhounds. Played really well last week against the Bluff. Ramos, the quarterback, initially with time. Now he comes right back up the middle, but there's pressure up the middle. And 3 or 4 Greyhounds, led by senior defensive tackle Luke Molina, bottle him up, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Right now, just Pleasanton just not able to find anything that's really working for them.
You know, the thing is, initially, when they try to throw the ball, it's looked like Ramos has had some initial protection, just no place to throw it.
Right, yeah, and that's because of the coverage, like you said. That's coverage sacks almost.
3rd and 15. Back at the 25-yard line. 4-man defense up front, but they bring 5. Ramos wants to throw, does, far side, and overthrows his intended receiver. Really had to, because there was just excellent coverage applied there by senior cornerback Kane Wolf.
Yeah.
Very nice defensive series by the Greyhounds.
Cohen is one of the basketball guys that made it to the state tournament last year for the Greyhounds. So he'll, as soon as football is over, Cohen goes straight to basketball. And he's a big part of their team. He'll be a big part of this team. He was last year and will be an even bigger part this year.
Castillo to punt for Pleasanton. Braden Bays. This is blocked. This is blocked. So once again, the Greyhounds are going to have outstanding field position because of excellent play and hard hitting by their special teams. They played on a couple of short fields already, and they're going to again, because they will start this drive from the 27-yard line.
I think Houston got it right there.
Sure did.
Coming in from that left side.
Oh, what an athlete he is.
Yeah, he's also a basketball guy.
And he did it really with one hand.
Came in off that left side and just, he's so big and tall, and he can stretch out. And he's just long with his reach, and just another short field, like you said.
Bays, the quarterback, this time has trips receivers to the far side of the field. Wants to throw, throws it over the middle, and gets the completion. Relatively modest gain of about 4 yards.
Like Benavides. Jackson Bays' pass is complete to number 12, Javier Benavides. Gain of 3 yards.
So they're calling it officially a 3-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 7 with 1:17 remaining here in the first quarter, and Boerne up 10-0. Bays, good protection, throws deep, far side, got a man open. Does he come down with the football? Waiting for the call. Yes, he does. That's a touchdown, and that is to Braden Bays.
Jackson Bays' pass is complete.
Oh, what a perfectly thrown rainbow, and watch him high point the football. If we see this again, Braden Bays, the senior.
See him floated up there in that corner, and then Bays just goes up. He just goes up to get it. Just timed the jump well.
Had another big game last week. He had 5 catches for 88 yards, including a 30-yard touchdown. And there's the kick by Ballinger, and it's good. It's been a perfect evening for him so far, and a pretty darn good one for the Greyhounds as they lead it 17-0, and we still have a minute remaining here in quarter number 1. We'll be back in just a moment. We thank you for joining us on the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Superintendent Tommy Price, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hey, I got another one for you. And just look at the hole in this line. You could drive a truck right through there. I mean, the refrigerator William Perry could get a first down there. But you know who's going to get their number called for this one? Yeah, that's right, Dr. Ferris. He's like a ligating linebacker. Boom, just like that.
So the Greyhounds turn a blocked punt into 7 points. Scoring drive information from Kerry.
2 plays, 27 yards, 41-second base-to-base connection on that, basically that fade route, and good job.
There was pretty decent coverage on that. He just outfought the defender for the ball.
And I thought he timed his jump a little bit better, and it was good coverage, just a better catch.
Fair catch called again on the kickoff, which I think is a great rule right now. You can do that safely. It becomes a touchback. It comes out to the 25. It makes the game safer. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree, because the biggest thing is injuries. A lot of them occur on kickoff returns where guys have a full head of steam, and there's a collision and there's a lot of contact. So I like that rule.
So the Greyhounds off to a very quick start. And I'm kind of belaboring the obvious here, but this really is counterpunch time for Pleasanton if they want to stay in this ball game.
They don't have a first down yet.
They do not. 4-man defensive front for the Greyhounds. Looks like man coverage across, but it's a running play. Ball carrier is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, but we have flags all over the place.
You know, when flags come in from all different directions, it was pretty obvious foul because more than one official saw it.
Multiple, they say, yeah. Our officiating crew tonight, led by referee Eric Smith. Our umpires, Fernando Perez. Greg Norris is the line judge. Jarrett Evans serves as the head linesman. And the back judge tonight is Alan Rojas.
Well, it was a hold, and they're going to, I think, decline it because they dropped him for a loss.
Absolutely.
Penalties decline. They'll take
so why give him the down back?
Yeah, particularly when you pushed him back 2 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 12.
Tackle was made by number 75, Braden Bays. 2nd down, 12.
Defenders really crowding the line of scrimmage.
Uh-oh.
Ball's on the ground. Let's see who comes up with it. I believe that Pleasanton has retained possession, but they burn another down, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, Jose Lopez, the tight end, he was just kind of Johnny on the spot there and able to save the possession at least and not give the Greyhounds another short field. But Pleasanton still in a tough spot here, 3rd and long.
Yeah, moving backwards.
Yep.
They've lost 4 yards on 2 plays, so it's 3rd and 14.
Look for the blitz, knowing it's a passing down.
Ethan Montoya is the wide receiver to the near side of the field.
Houston.
Greyhounds showing blitz.
They got him to jump.
They got him in the neutral zone, and they'll stop the play.
Penalty marker on the play.
You kind of wonder if maybe Pleasanton would have appreciated letting that play continue, but for safety reasons, they stop it.
Yeah, because if he's offsides, you don't want him to get a clean open,
a free one.
A free open shot on an unprotected player.
Encroachment against the defense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
All right, so we got 5 seconds left here in quarter number 1. And Boerne with a commanding 17-0 lead.
This makes it a little bit more manageable. 3rd and 9 versus 3rd and 14. And that'll do it.
Yeah, they wind the clock, and the final 5 seconds come off. So we played the first 12 here in Boerne, and the Greyhounds lead it 17-0. Back with quarter number 2 in just a moment here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Brian Benway, Boerne ISD Director of Communications, and you're watching the Greyhounds Sports Network. Let's go Hounds!
Hi, I'm Scott, and I love Chick-fil-A nuggets because the flavor is unparalleled. As soon as you bite into them, you're in a happy place. The seasoning is perfect.
Hey, I'm Giovanni, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A nuggets is that they're perfectly breaded. There's just that right amount of crisp. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's pure magic.
Beautiful sunset here in Boerne as we move to quarter number 2 here at Boerne ISD Stadium. It's the Boerne team that has really lofty aspirations this year. That was a good, solid team last year. It really was. And, of course, you know, one of the guys that got a lot of attention last year was Boerne's quarterback, Rashawn Galloway. He set all kinds of records. And you wondered who was going to step in, and the answer is the sophomore, Jackson Bays.
Yep, and it's really preseason early on. It's about getting him experience, getting him used to the speed of the game like we talked about. And he'll have some games where they're going to scheme against him and try to slow him down and do some things to try to stop him. And so he's going to have to face that and be able to read coverages and that sort of thing. So he's progressing, but he's progressing very well for the Greyhounds.
Okay, for the Eagles, 3rd and 9 from their 26 as we begin the second period. Trips to the near side. Throw over the middle, got a man wide open and a first down, and that's the best play of the night for the Pleasanton Eagles as they get that one to their best receiver, the senior Jace Krauskopf. And the key to that, it was well protected, and that gave Ramos a chance for a clear passing lane for maybe the first time tonight.
Yeah,
and they converted on 39.
And they really needed that. They really need to keep that defense off the field. So that was a much-needed first down for the Eagles.
And they move it into Boerne territory at the 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Ramos gives it off up the gut, and it's a gain of about 2. Let's see who the ball carrier was on that play. It looks like it was Michael Castillo, who was their leading rusher from a year ago. Gain of about 2, 2nd and 8. Just underway, quarter number 2.
On the carry, and he gains 2 yards, bringing up 2nd.
Now the Eagles just need to really try to sustain something here.
Jeffrey Brown.
3 receivers to the near side. Ramos, wide receiver screen. It's complete, looking for a block. Good move by Diego Luna. And he gets it across the 45 down around the 43-yard line. So the Eagles will have a very manageable 3rd down.
Good show of sportsmanship by Cole Gentry. Makes the tackle and then helps him up.
Made by Cole Gentry. Number 17, Brendan Lavon.
3rd and about 4. From the 43-yard line, tight end to the right side. 4-man defensive front, but they bring 5. Big blitz. Now the quarterback pulls it down. Ramos has some room and has the first down. Very heady play as he gets across the 35 down to the 34-yard line.
Good open field run by Ramos. He's looking left and just nothing there. Steps up, sees the hole on that right side, and like you said, Paul, gets that first down and keeps the offense on the field. And seems like the Eagles got a little bit of rhythm going now, a little bit of momentum here.
Getting very much more comfortable for sure. Trips receivers right, tight end left. From the pistol, 4-man defensive front. Zone coverage, running play far side. That's Castillo trying to get the corner. Does so. Man, a couple of guys had an angle on him, and he just left them. And he's close to another Eagle first down. As a matter of fact, they're going to move the chains. Nice play.
Good job with that speed on that outside. And you can see the Greyhounds just not able to set the edge there. They let him get outside, and that was why he was able to get that first down, because he was able to get to the corner and turn it and find some real estate.
1st and 10, just inside the 23. Twin receivers to the near side. Ramos, well protected initially, throws the ball left side, got a man wide open. Will he get to the pylon? Hit at the 2, across the 1, and into the end zone, and the Eagles are on the board. And it looks like that was probably Diego Luna.
30?
No, actually, that's Riley Mills.
Yeah.
Riley Mills, the senior, the tight end. Not only a nice catch, but determined running down inside the 5-yard line. And so the Eagles are back in it. And on for the PAT is Humberto Hernandez, who missed a couple last week. This one's kind of low, but it doesn't matter. It still looks like a point as he sticks it through. So now this becomes much more competitive. 9:23 remaining before halftime, and the Boerne Greyhound lead is cut to 10 at 17-7. Back with the kickoff in just a moment here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
I'm Gina DeWall, the Boerne ISD Athletic Secretary, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
Ladies, that is how you execute the run-pass option.
All right, guys. In order to live in this community, we need to know important facts. What year was Boerne High School opened?
Back in 1909.
Now, who knows the name of the mascots?
Rowdy and Rita.
Okay. What year did Boerne play its first football game?
Back in 1909.
Coach Oswald.
Nice counterpunching by the Pleasanton Eagles on that impressive scoring drive.
Yeah, they really needed something, and just to keep this game from getting out of hand, because Greyhounds have scored 3 times, and so but they responded well. 8 plays, 75 yards, took 340, hit a couple of big plays, and good answer by the Eagles.
Hernandez with a short kickoff taken by Bays on the far side, and he's got some yards. What a move, and he gets this one into Eagle territory, down inside the 45-yard line, and we do have a flag. See what this is about.
Yeah, let's see. But I tell you, I think it's going to come back. But Braden Bays last week had several good returns, set up the Greyhounds. First 3 scores were on Bays returns, either on kickoffs or punts. So he really set up the offense well, gave them short fields to work with, and really made a difference in special teams.
Against Boerne.
Okay, so the first special teams mistake by the Greyhounds tonight. Otherwise, they've been stellar. So instead of returning that kickoff into Eagle territory, the Greyhounds will start this drive from their 27-yard line. We've got 9:15 remaining before halftime, and Boerne's up by 10 at 17-7. Bays, the sophomore, at quarterback. 2 receivers to the near side. Play fake. Throws it, kind of a dangerous throw, but they do complete it.
Dement.
Pass to T.J. Dement.
Definitely in traffic, looking at the replay here. And
I think somebody blew a route. You shouldn't have had 2 receivers that close together, but they got away with it.
They were pretty close, yeah. And actually one kind of shielded for the other.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Bays, play fake, throws far side slant and overthrows his intended receiver, Brooks Perez. Once again, that slant was there.
And what I like about what Jackson is doing, he's spreading the ball around. Yeah, he's got a chemistry with his brother, but we've seen Dement, we've seen Hicks, we've seen Perez, we've seen other guys catching the ball. So he doesn't just look for one guy. He moves the ball around. Javier Benavides, I believe, had a catch as well earlier. So he's spraying it all over the field. That makes it tough for our defense to figure him out.
3rd and 5 from the 32. And we've got a whistle.
Yeah, play clock got down to 1, so
they had to take the timeout.
Yeah, don't want to back up here.
Timeout, Boerne.
This is an Eagle team that's coming off a really good year in 2021. They were 9-4 overall last year, 2-2 in district.
Yeah, they had a very good year last year.
The Eagles will host Jourdanton a week from tonight, while Boerne will play at Antonian Prep, a team that beat Pleasanton in week 1.
And Antonian, and Holy Cross over the years, I don't think Boerne's playing Holy Cross this year, but they've had Antonian on the schedule a lot over the years in non-district. It's another good game for them that they like, and they like what they get out of it, and they like how it makes them better.
Antonian has built quite the program. 3rd and 5 for the Greyhounds. 3-man defensive front for Pleasanton, but they bring 2 linebackers. Ball's on the ground.
I don't know if that was a trick play, if they were trying to snap it to Houston.
I think possibly it was, but it kind of went awry. And really, for the first time tonight, the Boerne offense doesn't do much. And, of course, that got started with that mistake on the penalty on what would have been a long kickoff return, but they're going to have to punt it away. Houston Hendricks on the punt for the Greyhounds. Return man standing back at about his 40-yard line. It's a beautiful kick. And it is going to drive the return man way back. He feels the ball, make a short return. That was Isaac Hendrickson on the return, but he got nowhere. Excellent coverage by those Greyhound special teams.
Yeah, he was trying to save some field position is what he was trying to do. But
Well, the fact that he fielded the ball was a good thing because
yeah.
he did save himself.
The Eagles will have 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line.
But I think there might be a flag because there's officials having a meeting at midfield.
A really good special teams play by Charlie Stahl. Okay, so you saw the signals anyway. Those penalties offset. Signal given by our referee, Eric Smith. They're having a little trouble with his microphone right now.
I believe that was a 52-yard punt by
It stands up that way. It sure does.
Houston.
Yeah. So nice stop by the Eagles defense, and they give the ball back to their offense at the Pleasanton 21-yard line.
Uh-oh.
Ramos, the quarterback, gives it off to Castillo. Ball comes out late, but they'll retain possession.
Yeah, and they had a.
And they probably lost about a foot.
Well, yeah, I think Boerne jumped, so
Penalty marker on the play.
might have been a.
Offsides.
And that is the case, so it'll be 1st and 5.
So we're kind of seeing some mistakes by the Greyhound. That penalty that negated a really good kickoff right here, 5-yarder.
It did look, Kerry, to be honest, like after they got up 17-0, they kind of lost focus momentarily.
It happens with teenagers, right?
It happens with adults.
Yeah, that's true. What did you just say?
Yeah. Oh, bad snap, rolling around the ground, and it looks like the quarterback Ramos got back on it, but it ends up being a squandered play on 1st and 5.
Ramos falls on the loose ball.
And really, just snap was low, and you see Ramos there just falls on it right there. He just saved the possession. Didn't even try to pick it up. He just wanted to save it and fall on it, but they went backwards.
Be 2nd and 8, back at the 23-yard line.
Lost 3 on that one.
Just under 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. Tight end to the right side. 3 receivers left. 1 deep safety for the Greyhounds. Pump fake. Ramos throws. Got a man who takes a huge hit. Does a great job of holding on to the football. That was a big old pop delivered by McCoy Bruce.
Yep, and good job by Luna. Diego holding on to that ball, and good hit by McCoy. Nice clean hit, but they do get the first down.
Yeah, good football all the way around. Nice job by everybody. 1st and 10 out at the 34-yard line. Ramos gives it off inside. That's Chance Heyman, I believe, on the carry. And he gets very little, if anything. In fact, officially, a loss of 1.
Carry. He is hit at the line of the scrimmage by number 35, Jeffrey Brown. 2nd down and 10.
Officially no gain. Inside 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Ramos, the senior quarterback. Motion across the formation by Luna. Ramos throws over the middle, and once again they find the seam in that zone. That's a completion. That's a first down out close to midfield. The second catch of the night for the leading returning receiver for the Eagles, Jace Krauskopf.
Complete to number 28, Michael Castillo.
He's had a good game so far. Krauskopf. He's got some big catches that have been key first down gains for the Eagles.
3 receivers to the far side, tight end right. Greyhounds show blitz. Here they come. Ooh, that's a dangerous thing. They're trying to set the wide receiver screen. Ball gets knocked up in the air and might have been intercepted. As it is, it falls incomplete. Let's stop the clock with 5:12 left.
Houston Hendricks was in the area. Well, he wanted him a pick 6.
Well, if he had come up with it, there would have been nobody to stop him, that's for sure.
Yeah, if you make a mistake out on the wing, you got a lot of daylight in front of you.
2nd and 10 from the 48. 4-man defensive front. Running play, near side. Gain of only about 2, so it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Castillo, the ball carrier.
Michael Castillo, their leading returning rusher. Last week he had 71 yards on 18 carries and a touchdown in that loss to Antonian. It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Eagles with the ball right at midfield. Again, 4-man defensive front for the Greyhounds. Ramos to throw, steps up, has a man, complete far side. And on the catch, that's Isaac Hendrickson, but again, a good job of coming up quickly by the Boerne secondary.
Yeah, and you see Houston Hendricks come in, make the tackle, and just slams him to the ground right there.
Boy, I mean, he was determined. What a move that, and what an athlete that guy is.
Yeah, and 4th and 5-ish, so what do you do? It looks like they're bringing out the punt team.
Yeah, hoping to flip the field again. They trail by 10 at 17-7.
Boerne's bringing in subs late here.
Peyton Randall comes into the game.
Play clock's
for the
at
Greyhounds.
0 for some reason. They didn't call a penalty.
Didn't catch him.
Yep.
Here's the punt. It's going to be fair caught at about the 17-yard line. So we'll see what Boerne can do with the football, leading by 10.
Coaches want to know why there wasn't a penalty on that, because the play clock was down to 0 and they didn't burn a timeout. So I think they got away with one.
You know, you see that happen often in the NFL, and there's that strange rule that, you know, you don't even move your eyes until you see the clock hit 0. I've never really understood that, but yeah, they got away with one.
Yeah. And that's what you see Coach Hendricks there off the sideline. He's talking to one of the officials about it.
So after the fair catch, Boerne will start this drive from their own 17-yard line with 3:40 remaining in the first half. Sophomore Jackson Bays has gone all the way at quarterback on 1st down. They bounce a running play outside. Ball carrier puts his foot in the ground and turns it up. And that ends up being a very nice carry by Chance Gentry.
Dement, I believe, 18.
It is Dement, excuse me.
And
that's the second time tonight I've shorted him.
And watch him when he's running with the ball. Watch him switch the ball to the outside, which is what you're supposed to do as a running back.
Away from traffic.
Yep.
Very savvy move. 1st down, out at the 33. Inside running play once again. This was going to be a gain of about 3 as he advances the ball past the 35 to the 36-yard line. Clock continues to run with 3:20 showing.
You talk about shifting that ball away from traffic. One thing it does, if you fumble, the ball's probably going to go out of bounds because it's on your outside. But it also frees up your arm to stiff arm. You got a free arm now. You can deliver a couple stiff arms.
3-man defensive front. They bring 4. Deep ball left side. Bays intended for Bays, and it's just incomplete. Stop the clock with 2:56 left.
Jackson Bays' pass was
he and the defender, Bays and the defender, were kind of hand-to-hand combat down the field. I didn't think there was no call there, but you see they're kind of just jostling with each other.
Good no call.
Yeah, that was number 6, Montoya.
Ethan Montoya, the senior. Good coverage, and we got a flag.
I would make it 3rd and 1 if it's on Pleasanton.
Yeah, got an offside against the Eagles, and you're right, that's really significant because they had the long incompletion, but now they've got a short 3rd and 1 following the penalty.
And if you don't get it, you might go for it on 4th down. Just
you might.
Since it's only a 1-yarder. If you don't go backwards or get penalized yourself here.
Here's motion by Houston Hendricks. Sets up on the near side. Quarterback looks to the sideline with 3 seconds showing on the play clock. Now down to 1.
They had to burn the timeout.
Yeah.
Took too long.
Yep, second time tonight that's happened.
Timeout. Greyhound.
course, Boerne plays in District 14 4A Division 1, and they've got some water moccasins in that district, and you can see that after last week's first week of play, everybody in the district is 1-0 except for Memorial and Fredericksburg.
Yeah, but don't worry about Fredericksburg. They'll be ready for the Greyhounds when they come up here. They'll be. It won't matter their record either. They'll battling Boerne and the Billies. Is a big rivalry, and throw out the records. It's that type of rivalry, so they'll be ready.
3rd and 1 from the 41-yard line. Pleasanton with that 3-man defensive front. Press coverage on the receivers. Inside running play. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, but what an effort by Chance Gentry as he just keeps moving forward, and he moves the sticks as he moves it out to the 45-yard line, and that'll stop the clock momentarily while they set the chains.
And just see, he gets hit, like you said, it spins, but he just backs his way into that first down and keeps the chains moving and keeps the clock moving for the Hounds.
From the 45, blitz coming. Slant route, Bays to Bays, complete. Inside the 40-yard line, down to the 38. Gain of about 17.
Number 21, JC.
And you're seeing the timing, you're seeing the chemistry of the Bays to Bays brothers right there. Just a nice slant route, and if it stands.
If it stands, let's see.
Flag is way over there. Ineligible.
Ineligible, yeah. Boy, that's a little bit unusual, too, because that was not a run-pass option. That was a called slant route, and you wouldn't anticipate having a lineman downfield.
Yeah, and I thought last week, Flower Bluff, they had a few of those. They had about 3 of them, and I thought those were some tough calls.
Well, that's a costly penalty for the Greyhounds. It wipes out a good gain, moves the ball back into Boerne territory at the Greyhound 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 15. Okay, that's a complete pass because he pitched it forward. That's Bays to Bays. It's complete and a gain of about 7. He's knocked down inbounds, and the clock continues to run with 2:08 left.
Yeah, just a little pitch pass. And they tell the officials before the game, we're going to do this play. That way they know it's a pass and they recognize it.
And if the ball hits the ground, incomplete pass.
Yeah, so that's why you do it. It's really just like a handoff, but it's technically a pass like you said.
2nd and 9. Bays well protected, deep ball right side. He got a man open. High points the ball beautifully. That is just a gorgeous catch by Brooks Perez. Wow, what a throw and catch. And that'll move it down around the 17 or 18-yard line.
And Perez just got behind the defender. Has to come back a little, but makes a nice catch on that.
Inside running play. That's Adam Hicks this time. Down to the 15-yard line. 1:32 left.
31-yard gain on that pass play to Perez.
Beautiful throw and catch. Bays throws over the middle to Bays. 1 into the end zone. What an athletic move by Braden Bays after taking the pass from Jackson Bays.
And how about Jackson? He got hit. He got knocked on the ground, but he put enough on it.
He stood in there.
Yeah, he stood.
And he knew he was going to get popped.
Yeah, he steps forward and he gets hit. But he had enough mustard on it to get it to his brother. But then kind of muscled his way in after catching it at about the 3.
Nice response by the Boerne offense. And the PAT by Ballinger is good, and with that, Boerne extends its lead to 17 at 24-7, although we have another officials conference. We'll see what significance this has, if any.
Flag came out from the back judge, so I don't know what they saw.
Personal foul against Pleasanton. Penalty is declined, and the point after is
Point after is good.
Your score now.
So the score is 24-7.
The Eagles 7.
And we'll keep it right here since we have just 1:14 left in the half. So I thought that was a good and a timely response by the Boerne offense.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit. They went 3 and out on their last drive, and then just kind of went backwards. But that time they take over at the 17, go downfield, hit a couple nice passes, and of course mixed in the run well, and saw some nice plays, sharp throws by the quarterback, and good catches by the receiver, and back in control now.
Yeah, there have been little shifts in momentum here. You know, Boerne jumps off to the 17-0 lead. Then finally, Pleasanton puts a good 75-yard scoring drive together. They get back in it 17-7. You had the feeling that for a while, Boerne had kind of taken its foot off the gas a little bit, but they come back with a touchdown right before halftime, and they assume a 17-point lead.
Yeah, you come out and you scored 3 times, your first 3 times, so maybe the guys start thinking, hey, this is going to be easy. You know, this is going to be an easy win. If you multiply 17 times 4, I'm not a math major, so whatever that is. So you think that might be the final score, but no, can't. You know, Pleasanton, they have pride. They play well. They know Boerne, kind of a rivalry game, so they played well.
By the way, they will assess that personal foul here on the kickoff. Kerry, you think this is fair? And looking at these rosters, they both have very talented players. But Boerne appears to be deeper in the sense that Pleasanton has a lot of players who start on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that matters. And I think that matters especially in the second half of a game. And especially, well, it's September now, but it's still hot. And so that could matter. And that was one of the things Coach Hendrick said last week is we have to get in a little bit better shape. There's nothing like game shape. And this is from a team that is deep and substitutes, and so guys probably are a little bit more fresher. So Pleasanton, boy, you really got to be in pretty good shape if you're going to go both ways.
Here's the kick by Ballinger, or we thought there was, but there's the whistle. Boerne coach Shea Hendricks wants to know what this is all about.
So that drive by the Greyhounds, 8 plays, 83 yards, took 2:26 off the clock.
You know, it was really impressive last week to watch the development of the young quarterback Bays for Boerne, because he's a sophomore making his first start. He's replacing an almost legendary quarterback here. And he hit a 50-yard touchdown pass to T.J. DeMint on the second play of the game, and he's off to a great start. But then he did go through a period where he looked a little uncertain. He threw 2 picks, including one for a pick 6. And after getting up 7-0, they were down 17-7. But then again, the whole team got it back together, and Bays showed some physical and mental toughness as the Greyhounds then rattled off 28 unanswered points and wound up beating Flower Bluff 35-32. And again, Flower Bluff, a team that went to the state Class 5A semifinals a year ago. Most impressive. Ballinger will have to do it again. This time he'll just drill it through the back of the end zone. So we'll see what Boerne can do defensively. You know, and also it'll be very interesting to see whether Pleasanton keeps the ball on the ground or they try to force this now with 1:14 remaining in the half, trailing by 17 at 24-7.
Yeah, they do have 2 timeouts. So yeah, how will you play this last minute? You just content to go into halftime and kind of reboot everything, or do you try to get something going here? Do you play it rather safe, just maybe hand off, see what can happen? But I think Boerne's going to try to burn some timeouts if they're able to stop them on some early plays.
Well, keep in mind they only have 1 remaining. The give is to the running back Castillo, and he's tripped up immediately. So if we were wondering what they were going to do here in the last minute, I think that's a pretty good indication right there.
Just hand off, see if maybe the running back can bust one. But like you said, Boerne's kind of handicapped right now, because I would think you would normally stop the after that, but they only have 1 timeout. So
yeah, and because they've had to burn the other 2 to avoid delay of game penalties. They will throw it. Got a man wide open. They're kind of letting him have that, trying to keep everything in front of him. So it's completion. And the receiver steps out of bounds.
Yeah, McCoy Bruce was in coverage there. He had about a 10-yard cushion. Like you said, they're kind of giving stuff underneath. They don't want to get burned deep.
Easy catch for Isaac Henriksen. 3rd and 3. Clock now running with 28 seconds left. Tight end flanker right. And a whistle before the snap.
I don't know that the clock was supposed to start because I thought he got out of bounds.
I thought he did too, and I think that's the issue.
Of course, we can't hear him. I think he's trying to tell him to put more time, but
yeah. Hope he can communicate.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless they know sign language, I don't know how he's going to communicate with them. Okay, so he does have a headset, we're told, to the press box, or one of them does, so they're...
And that was the issue.
Yeah.
Clock should have stopped as the receiver stepped out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they ever did the motion to start the clock, so...
Well, if he steps out of bounds, you know, the clock would start with the snap. Deep ball caught. Oh, man, this is going to be a foot race to the end zone. Let's see who wins it. Inside the 10, inside the 5, down around the 1 goes Jace Krauskopf. What an amazing catch, and a little bit of a gamble on the part of the Boerne secondary. They went for the pick, and it ended up being the long completion.
Yep, and that's what the Greyhounds didn't want to give up. And you see the play right here on the replay. Just
oh man,
just a
what
nice
an amazing catch! And look at Cone Wolf in hot pursuit.
Cone Wolf,
oh
Gentry.
Man, but Krauskopf is a big, strong young man, and he leaps and almost gets it in. They say he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line, but what a turnaround! It looked like Boerne was guaranteed to go in with a 17-point lead. Now that is very much in jeopardy with 15 seconds remaining in the first half. And Boerne will take its final timeout.
And there's going to be maybe some chewing out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that really can't happen. I mean, you got to be playing an umbrella behind that. And think about what a weird series that was. You know, they only got a few seconds left. So Pleasanton runs the ball and loses 2 yards on first down, and it looks for all the world like they're content to just get this thing in with a 17-point deficit, but then they get the short completion, they step out of bounds, and then they get that one that was really damaging. And I just can't stress enough what a brilliant play that was by Jace Krauskopf.
And that went 66 yards, so got him downfield, and they've got 2 timeouts, so really 15 seconds, you're going to have 2-3 shots at this, and if you run it, you can run it now because you do have a timeout. So everything's on the table right here for the Eagles. Every option is available to you.
Like you said, including running the football. Line of scrimmage officially the 2. And if they punch this in, we got a whole different thing going in the second half. Ramos, the quarterback. They motion to 3 receivers on the left side. Ramos pulls it down, wants to run. He's running for the goal line, trying to get inside the pylon, and
I don't know.
We're waiting for the signal.
Nope.
They're going to mark it short.
Yep.
Man, I don't know how you could be any closer than that. I mean, that's down around the 1-inch line.
Well, he took a lot of time, really, but he's trying to get in the end zone, so you like the effort. But the Greyhounds just did a good job of extending the play to the sideline. They just didn't let Ramos turn it upfield. He kept having to run laterally.
And this becomes a really interesting play call with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, because you had 15 seconds. That took 10 seconds.
That's a long play.
Yeah, that is a long play. So now you might have a pass play option, maybe a fade route or something, but
I mean, that's about as close as you can get. So, I mean, there would be that school of thought that you ought to be able to get an inch.
I would look for Krauskopf. That guy's been he's been the money guy.
He's a wonderful player.
Yeah, he's been great for him in his first half. But you do have some options here if you're Pleasanton. That 10 seconds kind of hurt, but you're still okay. You're still with the chance to score here.
Nose of the ball just about an inch shy of the goal line. Boerne fans fired up, pumping up their defense. They run a wide play, and it's going to blow up in their face. That was a pitch sweep to Diego Luna. And here's the thing. This is always hindsight's 20/20, but that one's going to get second guessed for sure.
There's a flag, so let's see what it is. They'll decline it.
Penalties against the offense.
Oh, that's a tough break for the Eagles.
Oh, so what a victory for the Boerne defense, but how crushing is that for Pleasanton? Because they had a chance to get right back into this with a late score, but as it is, they failed to score from the 1-inch line. And we've played 24 minutes here in Boerne, and the Greyhounds at home lead it by 17, 24-7. Back with halftime festivities in a moment. We thank you for being with us here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hi, my name is Jenny Brewer, and I coach cross country and track at Champion High School, and I teach in the business incubator and entrepreneurship. I remember my high school cross country coach made a very big impact on me, and when I went to college I realized that I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. I was fortunate enough to get into at Kendall Elementary, and I got hired there to do there as a computer teacher. Now I teach entrepreneurship and the business incubator and practicum. I really focus on, I tell them a lot that they're going to grow in my classroom in ways that aren't really tangible. They speak every day, they have to stand up, and they redesign usually a consumer product or packaging of some kind as their warm-up every day. I kind of get them into the mindset of when you're 5 and you go into kindergarten and the teacher asks a question, 20 hands go up. Everyone wants to say, pick me, I want to answer the question. And as they get conditioned into high school, they lose some of that sometimes because either someone has said you're not smart enough, or they're worried about answering the wrong, saying the wrong answer, or they're worried about the way that they're perceived by their peers. And so I try to get them to say, when you're redesigning things, go back to your 5-year-old self and just make it like there's no rules, and to go back to really having an ability to use your imagination.
Coach Brewer did a great job of taking students from the beginning stages of their plan, where they were uncertain about ideas, just formulating the plan to a very well polished presentation. So, and that was a lot of the time she spent just with the students in preparing and planning and rehearsing. The coaching, you always prepare to win, and that's what she does in the classroom with her students.
I think we were really lucky to have such a woman be able to teach us, and she was just so hands-on. She was definitely our class's mom away from home. She was just amazing, and so if I had a rough day or a good day, I could tell her about it, or if I needed good advice, or I had someone that I could kind of lean on.
What an outstanding woman. To do what the things that she does, not only on the coaching field but in the classroom, speaks a lot of volumes to why she was our Teacher of the Year and District Teacher of the Year.
As a career in general, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's on the track or in cross country, pouring into kids gives you so many things back that are just, it becomes your identity because of the way that the kids feed you and you feed into the kids. And it's that's the special, that's what my coach did for me in high school, And so that's what I aspire to do for the kids.
Hi, I'm Brian Benway, Boerne ISD Director of Communications, and you're watching the Greyhounds Sports Network. Let's go Hounds!
The Dog and Pony Grill has been committed to the Boerne community for over 10 years. And in that time, we've grown. But we've always stayed true to our roots. Just like all of y'all. Live music, great food, and the most fun for all Greyhounds fans. Stop by today, or tomorrow is just fine with us.
I'm Gina DeWall, the Boerne ISD Athletic Secretary, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
To create a program for across all of our school district. We want to create the best fine arts department, specifically theater arts department, in the entire state across all 3 of our campuses.
I think it was also a great opportunity for the 5th coming into 6th, getting to tour the campus, the theater, learning where props go, where set pieces go, and so it allows them, I think in August, to feel a little bit more comfortable starting middle school.
I think it teaches theater in a completely new, different way. We get to do a warm-up and games, which just kind of open you, and then we get to practice for our play, which we've been doing all week. That was in 54? That was in 58! 54 was the year we had that big ice storm! It's different from what I normally do. I was actually the lead in our 6th grade play that we did, and I just thought, you know, I'm very close to my grandpa, so I was like, you know, why not the old man? And it's really funny to play him, seeing what they do.
I learned how to project, I learned how to improv, and I also learned how to put on a different, how to character somebody else, because I'm definitely not a weather woman. I also got to have an experience with some of my friends who I already knew who went to elementary school with me. So it was very fun getting to meet people who were going to North, Voss, South, and a ton of other schools.
Well, this was our first year to offer. Being our first year, we had a great turnout, boys and girls. For next year, as we continue to grow, we're hoping that we can get some more of our middle school teachers' calendars available to work with us so that we can grow in our numbers as well, building our programs. So trying to collaborate and getting our middle schools on the same team, teaching them and feeding better kids to high school.
I'm Goldberg, WWE Hall of Famer. You're watching Greyhound Sports Network. Who's next?
We're a Minecraft-themed camp, and we worked towards creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking, as well as character and citizenship. We worked using Minecraft to kind of hook the kids in, and we kind of guided them through with activities and lessons that touched upon each of those C's.
I did learn how to make a bubbly water tank, like have the ability to build whatever I want sometimes on Minecraft camp.
They're 100% engaged throughout the whole process, and you see the kids that might not be as familiar with Minecraft, but then somebody that does have more experience actually helps them through the process, and you see a lot of collaboration and problem solving together to make the project come to life.
We want them to walk away as better humans, and treating each other in a digital environment and in a real environment with kindness and trying to bring each other up. They were able to do that. When they made mistakes, they corrected mistakes. They were able to come through it in a positive way.
We would hope to get more teachers including this into their actual curriculum, you know, whether it's math, science, social studies, just bits and pieces here and there, after school clubs and anything in between. So we're excited to see where it goes.
I'm Jeremy Appelt, 3-time World Series champion, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network.
School safety is very important, and it's up to us to work together as a team to prevent bad things from happening. That is why when you see something, say something. If you see or hear about dangerous or suspicious activity which could potentially put our students, staff, or visitors in danger, you should tell an adult immediately. Make sure you tell your teacher, your principal, or your SRO, or even your parents and guardians. Just make sure you report any dangerous or suspicious activity to an adult right away. You could help save lives. If you don't feel comfortable telling an adult, you can report dangerous or suspicious activity anonymously on the See Something, Say Something link, which is on every BISD webpage, or by scanning this QR code. Your tip will go straight to the administration, who will then investigate. If we all stay alert and work as a team to report dangerous or suspicious activity, we can help keep our schools safe. Remember, if you see something,
say something.
Hi, I'm Superintendent Tommy Price, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Boerne Beat, sponsored by Boerne Radio. Here are the top stories from around Boerne ISD. Another major statewide recognition was earned by Boerne ISD. The district received its third consecutive A rating with a grade of 94 in the Texas Education Agency's statewide student testing and accountability ratings. In addition, 10 campuses received an A rating, and BISD had a district record 21 distinctions, which acknowledges districts and campuses for outstanding achievements. Boerne ISD is among only 1% of over 1,200 school districts across the state who have received an A rating in each of the 3 rating periods. To read more about this historic achievement, please visit our website. Boerne ISD students and staff created an inspirational mural that now decorates Central Office. In the fall of 2020, Boerne High School art teacher Darcy Baird and her e-learning students collaborated to design and create the project as a way to connect with other students and the community. The mural was funded by the Boerne Education Foundation. Mrs. Baird and her students were honored by the BISD Board of Trustees this week. Speaking of the Board of Trustees, they held their first monthly meeting of the new school year this week. The board commended BISD administration and staff for earning an A rating from the TEA, as well as for being named an innovative district by the International Center for Leadership in Education. Boerne ISD named a new Chief of Safety and Security this week. Boerne resident Rick Goodrich was chosen for the position, which was announced at this week's board meeting. Goodrich has over 22 years of law enforcement investigative experience with the Drug Enforcement Administration, as well as 22 years of distinguished military service with the U.S. Air Force. For more information on this story, please visit our website. And now, here are the elementary photos of the week. stories from around Boerne ISD this week. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.
I'm Stan Leach, Boerne ISD Athletic Director, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
Great job, ladies. And now, presenting your pride of the Key to the Hills, the mighty Boerne Greyhound Band. The band is under the direction of Mr. Daniel Person, Mr. Alec Miranda. Color guard directors are Mrs. Hannah Oliver and Danny Youngblood. The band is conducted by drum majors Samuel Spencer, Samantha Osborne, and Savannah Strauss. The section of the week is the drum line. Band members of the week are Zachary Harris and Caden Stans. And the guard member of the week is Zoe Schmidt. Tonight the Greyhound Band is going to perform a portion of their UIL marching show. It's called Above. Sit back and relax and let's hear the sounds of your mighty Greyhound Band. Great job, band. Hey fans, thank you for joining us this evening. The Mighty Greyhound Band would like to thank the following sponsors. Bobby Cavender's Auto Group, good friend of mine. And Pleasanton Medical Devices. Thank you, sponsors. The band would also like to thank principals.
Hi, my name is Jenny Brewer, and I coach cross country and track at Champion High School, and I teach in the business incubator and entrepreneurship. I remember my high school cross country coach made a very big impact on me, and when I went to college I realized that I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. I was fortunate enough to get into at Kendall Elementary, and I got hired there to do there as a computer teacher. Now I teach entrepreneurship and the business incubator and practicum. I really focus on, I tell them a lot that they're going to grow in my classroom in ways that aren't really tangible. They speak every day, they have to stand up and they redesign usually a consumer product or packaging of some kind as their warm-up every day. I kind of get them into the mindset of when you're 5 and you go into kindergarten and the teacher asks a question, 20 hands go up. Everyone wants to say, pick me, I want to answer the question. And as they get conditioned into high school, they lose some of that sometimes because either someone has said you're not smart enough, or they're worried about answering the wrong, saying the wrong answer, or they're worried about the way that they're perceived by their peers. And so I try to get them to say, when you're redesigning things, go back to your 5-year-old self and just make it like there's no rules, and to go back to really having an ability to use your imagination.
Coach Brewer did a great job of taking students from the beginning stages of their plan, where they were uncertain about ideas, just formulating the plan to a very well polished presentation. So, and that was a lot of the time she spent just with the students in preparing and planning and rehearsing. The coaching, you always prepare to win, and that's what she does in the classroom with her students.
I think we were really lucky to have such a woman be able to teach us, and she was just so hands-on. She was definitely our class's mom away from home. She was just amazing, and so if I had a rough day or a good day, I could tell her about it, or if I needed good advice, or I had someone that I could kind of lean on.
What an outstanding woman. To do what the things that she does, not only on the coaching field, but in the classroom, speaks a lot of volumes to, why she was our Teacher of the Year and District Teacher of the Year.
As a career in general, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's on the track or in cross country, pouring into kids gives you so many things back that are just, it becomes your identity because of the way that the kids feed you and you feed it into the kids. And it's, that's the special, that's what my coach did for me in high school. And so that's what I aspire to do for the kids.
Back in Boerne, just seconds away from the start of the second half. We are at halftime, and Boerne, playing at home, leads Pleasanton by a score of 24-7. Glad you're with us. My name is Paul Alexander. My partner and friend is Kerry Barboza. And there have been some ebbs and flows in this game. Boerne gets a break right away. They recover a fumble on the opening kickoff. They turn that into 3 points. They parlay that into a 17-0 lead. But finally, Pleasanton kind of awakens. They come up with a 75-yard drive to cut it to 10 at 17-7. Then At that point, Boerne responds again on the long Bays-to-Bays pass to cap off an 83-yard drive. They have a 17-point lead. They look in control, but the Eagles, Carey, have to be kicking themselves because with just really a few seconds left in the first half, they get the ball deep in their own territory, but they get a big break on a long 66-yard completion that gets them into scoring range. And then they get down to the 1-inch line with 15 seconds left, and you think, or they had it a little bit farther out with 15 seconds left. They get it down to the 1-inch line, but they're reduced to having just 2 plays. And then with 5 seconds left, the final play of the half, they run a wide running play, and they lose yardage on that. And instead of being right back in the ball game at probably 24-14, they still trail by 17 at 24-7.
Yeah, tough break, and this is what non-district is about. It's about fixing stuff like that. It's about getting better. It's about getting ready for district. But yeah, that was a tough ending. There was 15 seconds on the clock. They were first and goal at the 2. They ran wide, and that play took 10 seconds. So they did have 2 timeouts, but they only had 5 seconds left. They tried a sweep play. Boerne just a little too fast. I felt Boerne has too much speed for them and stuffed it, and there you go.
And Boerne will get the ball to start the second half. It's taken at the 21-yard line and returned up the far sideline. That's Bays on the return, and we've got another flag. But that one lined at about the 38-yard line in the area where you might anticipate an illegal block.
Well, and you think to the first half, Boerne had a pretty good return by Bays that got negated.
Correct.
Because of a flag, and there might be another one there. But I tell you, Braden, he just sees the field well, and he has such good footwork. He makes some nice moves to extend plays. And he's a weapon for them on special teams. And if I'm Pleasanton, I don't know that I kick to him. I mean, they've kind of got – it hasn't hurt them because of the penalties, but he's capable.
But the other kickoff return guy, McCoy Bruce, is a pretty good one as well. So pick your poison.
Yeah.
So that wipes out, at least partially, a good return, moves the ball back to the 30-yard line. Boerne with the ball and leading by 17. Running play, far side.
Another flag.
That was Dement on the carry. And the penalty is going to be walked off against the Greyhounds.
It's going to be a hold. That one came out from the back judge. It was on one of the linemen.
Yeah, that's rugged. Going to move it all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Greyhounds going backwards.
Consistently, yes.
Start the half.
Yeah.
They should have been up at the 40. Instead, they started at the 30. Now they're back to the 20.
So 1st and 20 from there, and look at the bunch formation with the trips to the near side. Deep ball up the seam. Look at this. Bays to Bays, beautifully executed. You're not going to catch him. That is all the way. And that is an 80-yard touchdown pass. And they found the seam in that, and it was just a beautiful throw and catch. Caught him right in stride. The sophomore, Jackson Bays, to his senior brother, Braden Bays, who's having a big night.
We talked about their timing and their chemistry in that time. Just nice route by Braden to get open, and then great throw by Jackson to hit him in stride. Didn't have to break his stride. He's running,
all.
Yeah, he's running full speed, and he catches it running full speed.
Here's Ballinger with the PAT. High snap. They get it down cleanly, and Ballinger boots it through. And wow, the closing seconds of the first half and the opening seconds of the second half have been rugged on Pleasanton. And now they're down by 24 at 31-7 early in the third. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
I'm Stan Leach, Boerne ISD Athletic Director, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
The Dog and Pony Grill has been committed to the Boerne community for over 10 years. And in that time, we've grown. But we've always stayed true to our roots. Just like all of y'all.
All right, so how's this? You get a 70-yard drive capped off by an 80-yard touchdown pass.
On one play, they had 2 plays, but they got penalized, so they got the down back, so you don't count that. So, yeah, one play, 70 or 80 yards.
Kickoff is going to be fair caught, something that Pleasanton has done consistently throughout the evening. So that counts as a touchback, and will bring the ball out to the 25-yard line.
Interesting, the first opening kickoff, they did return it, had that fumble, and since then they've been fair catching it.
Well, that carry changes the entire complexion of this game. And it's got to be frustrating for Pleasanton because they had a chance to get right back in it.
Yeah, it was a 14, basically it's been a 14-point swing where Pleasanton didn't score, and then Boerne got the ball and scored.
Drive will start from the 25. Ramos flushes far side, now throws it, and essentially throws it away, wisely, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Ramos throws the ball away. 2nd down.
You obviously want to use these games to get better for district play. You're not going to be as good in late August, early September as you are going to be in late October, November. But just some missed opportunities for the Eagles tonight.
2nd and 10, trips to the far side, high snap. Ramos pulls it down, now steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Throws into pretty good zone coverage there. It was intended for a guy who's having a big night, Jace Krauskopf. He was the one that had that 60-plus yard completion late in the second quarter that almost capped off in a touchdown that, as we said, would have gotten the Eagles right back into the ball game, but it's been really disastrous for them since then, and they now trail by 24.
Krauskopf's got Boerne's attention. There was 3 Greyhounds around him.
Yeah. 3rd and 10. Ramos. It's complete, but there's also a big hit out there on the sideline.
Ball came out, but I think they're going
to call it a completion,
yeah.
But that was a big old pop by the junior cornerback, McCoy Bruce. Well executed, and it makes a difference. He stopped him short of the stake, and Pleasanton is going to have to give it up.
Yep, 4th and 1. You try a fake here, Coach?
Well, I mean, at this point, the only problem is that everybody on Boerne is thinking that right now.
Yeah,
so maybe you just go for it.
Well, they have nobody back. Greyhounds did not have a return man.
Well, but they are in punt formation, and as you said, they meaning Boerne don't really believe this.
Yeah.
So there's nobody back there. They did that once before tonight, resulted in a 52-yard punt, but they also turned that into a touchdown drive.
Play clock down to 0, so never mind. You probably are going to punt it now. They chose not to burn a timeout. They just took the penalty since I think they're probably going to punt. Greyhound's got a lot of guys coming in and out late.
Well, I think we are starting to see the effects of the difference in depth between these two teams. Boerne's got a lot of players, and Pleasanton has a lot of guys that go both ways. It's a pretty good punt. Bays is going to take it back at his 37-yard line, makes one quick move, comes to the near sideline, looking to get the edge, gets a block, going to get a lot more yards inside the 40, and is brought down by Krauskopf just inside the 40-yard line.
And it may be another good return negated by a penalty.
Well, if that's the case, that would be the 3rd one tonight.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're holding firm. Although there is this continuing conference by the officiating crew led by the referee, Eric Smith.
Flag is basically at midfield, 49, Boerne side of the field, but let's see. Greyhounds are backing up.
Boy, this has been a two-sided coin for the Boerne special teams tonight. They started out just a fire. They couldn't do anything wrong, and they have made multiple mistakes since then.
You know, Braden's a guy, and I think I mentioned earlier, he didn't play football last year. He's a track guy, and he golfs, and his brother Jackson was playing, and he wanted to be on the field with him. He knew Jackson was going to be the quarterback. and was competing, for the starting job, and he knew he was going to be on varsity though. So he said, I came back out my senior year. I just wanted to play with my brother, and they get along well, both good temperaments, and just enjoy. They get along really well. And you can see that chemistry on the field between the two brothers. And we're still trying to figure this out here.
Well, they're marking the ball at the Pleasanton 40. And it looks like they had initially marked it at the 35, so this may be a post-play foul here. Let's see how this turns out.
Actually, there is another flag over there by the Pleasanton coaches. I don't know if that's the same infraction that they. But
this has taken a while.
We're a minute and 12, so 10:48 to go in the half. Personal foul.
Pleasanton always declined. Holding.
So they each had a penalty.
First down.
This is some high-level math going on out there. Right now, these two teams look like marching bands following each other. Okay, they sorted out, and Boerne will start this drive from their own 45-yard line with 10:48 remaining here in the third quarter, and Boerne leading by 24 at 31-7. Running play, that's Dement, and he shows some quick feet. It was a pretty nifty 1-yard run.
Number 18, T.J. Dement.
Yeah, he did a good job not taking a loss. Just the fact that he got 1 yard out of it showed his athleticism.
Second and 9. 3-man defensive front. That's Benavides in motion. He's got the ball. Looking to turn the corner, won't get there. Going to lose yardage. Going to lose about 3. Excellent job of pursuit by the Eagle defense.
Number 12, Javier Benavides on the carry.
I believe Krauskopf was the guy with the tackle. Just see the little.
He's been an outstanding player in all 3 phases tonight: offense, defense, and special teams.
Just a little pitch pass again.
Third down 12.
And the Eagles showed good speed there, containing that edge, not letting them turn upfield.
All right, so 3rd and 12. With the ball back at the 48. 3 receivers to the near side. Bays on the wide receiver screen. Gets the completion, got pretty good yardage into Eagle territory at the 49-yard line. It'll be about 4 yards shy of a first down.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
Bays' pass is complete. Number 11, Brooks Perez. Tackle.
All right, 4th and 4.
35, Chance Heyman.
Got movement. Now we'll see what happened because the defender jumped into the neutral zone and the left tackle reacted to that. Now let's see what happens.
And if it is on Pleasanton, it's a first down for the Greyhounds.
Right.
And I wonder, they call it on Boerne, so they're going to punt now, but I wondered if they were just trying to get him to jump. Just with the hard
the
count.
defender moved first, and he was in the neutral zone, but I guess the call was he got back, and the tackle reacted late, so the walk-off goes against the Greyhounds.
So I wondered if the Greyhounds were really going to go for it, or are they just trying to get him to jump? It doesn't matter.
You know, I don't think you'd want a momentum shift here. I think they'll go ahead and punt the football. Houston Hendricks set to perform that duty, and he gets it away. It's an extremely high kick, but relatively short. It's going to hit at about the 30-yard line, then take a little bit of a Greyhound roll inside the 25 down to about the 23-yard line.
Pleasanton brought some good pressure that time, and I think Houston had to kind of kick it quickly, avoid a block, and he just kind of sent it straight up, but it does get a good roll.
All right, so the Eagles, trailing by 24, will start this drive from their 23-yard line. Running play right up the gut, and that's their senior running back, Michael Castillo. He'll pick up just shy of 4 yards on first down.
Number 28, Michael Castillo.
Clock running, quarter number 3. Just over 8 minutes remaining.
Hudson Hendricks.
Four-man defensive front. Ramos throws left side, complete, and he's got first down yardage. And, yeah, that's Krauskopf again. And this is a little unusual, I think. I've noticed this all night. Both teams' corners are giving the other team's wideouts a lot of cushion.
Yep, so and that's what the Eagles are doing right there. They're just taking what the defense is giving them. They're going to give you that cushion. Just run the short stuff underneath, and that's why the Eagles got the first down there.
Ball spotted at the 34-yard line, tight end to the right side. Running play up the middle. Castillo again. He's a strong young man, and he carries tacklers out across the 40-yard line to the 41.
Michael Castillo once again the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 17, Brendan.
It's a good first down play by Pleasanton. One of their better runs.
Second down 3.
It'll be 2nd and 3. Tight end right. Running play again. Once again, that appears to be Castillo with the same kind of result. You can tell how strong he is as he's very close to first down yardage. And in fact, they do move the chains with the ball out at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, he was stood up, but they kind of pushed the pile forward, and he fell down, got the first down right on it, but he got it.
This time the Eagles go with trips receivers to the far side of the field. Ramos gives it up again to Castillo, and this time he's hit and stopped right at the LOS.
Good adjustment by the Greyhounds. They kind of been gashed a little bit by Castillo on those runs. 2 or 3 nice runs, and that time they give him nothing. He's coming out. Castillo needs a little bit of a break.
Well, they've got a little depth at the running back position. We've seen Chance Heyman on a couple of carries. Junior Keegan Holes is also available. Tight end flanker to the right side. Ramos flushes far side, now throws deep. And the ball is a little bit underthrown. Pretty tough pass for a right-handed quarterback, rolling left and trying to get something on that. Pass falls incomplete.
Good job by Jeffrey Brown for the Greyhounds coming in from the edge. Chases the quarterback.
Going to be 3rd and 10.
Chases him out of the pocket.
Clock stopped after the incompletion with just over 6 minutes remaining here in quarter number 3. That's Luna, the man in motion. They motion to trips. Ramos stands in, throws. Boy, there's a guy right in the passing lane. That's picked off, and that's going to be a big return down to the Eagle 32-yard line.
And it's Hendricks. Almost had him 2 pick sixes in a row. Or almost 2 touchdowns in a row, defensive touchdowns.
Watch this. Watch this as he moves right into that passing lane. That is just beautifully played. And the thing is, you know, he's a linebacker, and look at the deep drop he took on that. And I think that Ramos found that very confusing, but just an outstanding play.
Yeah, and Hudson had the scoop and score last week on the fumble, and this week he's got the interception and almost returned that one. Almost back-to-back weeks with touchdowns for a defensive player.
So after the INT, Greyhounds with the ball at the Eagle 32-yard line. Play fake, RPO. This is going to result in, well, it should have resulted in an interception.
Yep.
But it is dropped.
Bases pass.
Oh, man. That was a tough break for Pleasanton because it absolutely appeared that Ethan Montoya had a gimme on that one.
Yeah, he did. Bays just kind of throws off his back foot there and really just, wow, just really a drop.
So the Greyhounds get a break. It's 2nd and 10 from the Eagle 32. Running play. And this time it is Chance Gentry. Does a nice job of moving in the hole, but it's still a pretty modest gain down to 31. So it's going to be 3rd and about 8, almost 9.
Tackled by Jace Crosscroft.
Look for the base to base.
We've seen that a lot tonight.
Yeah.
They've got that thing down. As they started the second half with that long base-to-base touchdown completion that spread that lead out to 24 points. Screen, wide receiver screen. And it's diagnosed pretty quickly. That was Adam Hicks on the reception.
4th and 9, 4th and 8, something like that. You're probably in between a really long field goal. So
yeah, they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
And for the reasons you cite, you're really kind of in no man's land there.
Yeah, you're in tweener land there. Just if you punt and it goes in the end zone, you're only backing them up 10 yards.
Braden Bays is the receiver at the bottom of your screen to the near side. That's the way he's looking. But they get a back out of the backfield. They get a completion, and they're probably going, let's see where they mark it. They're going to get a first down. That was nicely done, really well executed. The reception by Chance Gentry. Nice call.
And Gentry with that little wheel route, we've seen that a couple times tonight.
Second time tonight, yeah.
They've had some success with that where he just comes out of the wheel route, and Pleasanton just didn't cover him quick enough.
1st and 10 from the 20. Bays inside running give once again to Chance Gentry, and look at his lower body strength.
Oh, that stuff by Kraukoff.
Chance Gentry once again the ball carrier.
Krauskoff has just been outstanding tonight. He's been everywhere.
Oh, watch him make the tackle here, fighting off a block. He's got a blocker trying to block him, and he's not letting go.
That's an amazing play.
Yeah.
And by the way, he was held. And by the way, he was.
Migliozzi blocking him, but he wouldn't let go, and he just made the stop.
2nd and 12, play fake. Bays to the far side, throws it into the end zone, jump ball incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 3:44 left here in the third.
Number 3, Caleb Coultier.
And that one, if Bays puts his foot down, gets the defender to go in the air, he's got a lot of daylight in front of him.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Chose to throw it, though. He saw something downfield, and that's the quarterback mentality, right? You think pass first. You can pass for miles, you can run for yards, but you also want to pass for miles. So that's usually your first option.
3rd and 12. Bays to the near side. Keeps his eyes downfield, now throws it. And looking for his brother down around the 6-yard line, but a pretty good defensive play there by Ethan Montoya, who's the guy that trying to atone for dropping what would have been an easy interception. You know he feels badly about that, but that was a nice play.
There is a flag here. So if you're Pleasanton, do you decline it? If it's on Boerne, or do you back him up?
Depends on whether it's a big one.
Holding against the Greyhounds.
Boy, they have had a holding problem tonight.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it looks like they're going to decline it.
And keep it 4th down.
Don't give them the down back. You keep them closer, but it is 4th down. And and that's one thing we didn't see a lot of last week, were these types of mistakes, holdings. They've had a lot tonight.
You know, you mentioned they were in no man's land a minute ago, but not now. I mean, Ballinger's got a big old leg. Now, this is going to be a 39-yard field goal attempt, but that's well within his range. Ball on the near hash, down cleanly and on its way, relatively low, but absolutely good. 39-yard field goal by Ballinger. And now it's a 27-point lead at 34-7. So the Greyhounds turned that interception into 3 points. And with that, we'll take a short break. Our score, Boerne 34, Pleasanton 7. Back in just a moment on the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Superintendent Tommy Price, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hey, I got another one for you. And just look at the hole in this line. You could drive a truck right through there. I mean, the refrigerator William Perry could get a first down there. But you know who's going to get their number called for this one? Yeah, that's right, Dr. Ferris. He's like a ligating linebacker. Boom, just like that.
So the Greyhounds get a timely interception by Hudson Hendricks, and they turn that into a short score. Scoring drive info from Kerry.
They made him earn it. 8 plays, 10 yards, took 2:13, so it took 2 minutes off the clock just covering as the kick goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
That will result in a touchback.
Yeah, so, yeah, 8 plays, 10 yards. And took 2:13 off the clock. So tough 3 points for the Greyhounds, but they get the 3 points and add to their lead.
Greyhounds have had a tough night with holding penalties.
Yeah, and last week they were pretty clean, like I said a while ago. This week, yeah, it probably has maybe something to do with the opponent and how they're playing, of course, but obviously it's stuff you got to clean up, and that's what non-district is for.
From the 25, Castillo on the running play going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to lose at least 2 yards. We'll see where they spot it. Excellent penetration by that defensive front for the Greyhounds.
I want to say that was Hudson Hendricks on that one. Hudson, a baseball player as well as a basketball player.
Loss of 2 there officially. It will be 2nd and 12. Moving in on 3 minutes left here in the third period. Ramos with protection, throws deep, left side. This ball is going to be incomplete as there was excellent coverage applied by Houston Hendricks.
Yep, and I think it's one of those miscommunication things. The receiver cut it off, and the pass went deep. I think Ramos thought he was going to run a fly and run it deep, a little bit deeper, but that time he cut it off on the sideline and just no one out there. Closest person was the official.
So after the incompletion, it'll be 3rd and 12. Krauskopf, the lone receiver, actually he's the flanker here, to the near side. Ramos throws it, almost intercepted. He really threw that one into traffic. So the Eagle offense doesn't get much done there, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Coy Bruce, who had an interception last week, almost had another one.
Yeah. Next time that the Greyhounds are on defense, we'll show you some stats that they put up defensively last week against Flower Bluff. Impressive.
Yeah, the game really turned in that third quarter. They just had a great third quarter defensively, and that is kind of what sparked them.
They had 6 straight stops. Well, before the punt, we have a whistle. Tell you what, while they're sorting that out, let's throw up that graphic. Tell you a little bit about what Boerne did defensively last week against Flower Bluff. They allowed 373 total yards. They had a sack. They had a fumble recovery for a TD, a scoop and score. They had an interception. They allowed only 19 rushing yards. And they had 6 straight key stops along with some really good special teams play in the third quarter.
Is that all?
That's about it.
Yeah.
They'll redo the punt. Here it is, and this is a really short one, and it may back up too. Actually, no, it's going to take a Pleasanton roll. So it just barely gets into Boerne territory as they'll mark it at the 48-yard line.
47-yard line. First and 10, Greyhounds.
Well, the last 2-3 drives, Pleasanton's been on their own end. Boerne's taken over pretty good field position. So Greyhounds some short fields in their last couple drives. First drive had the Bays bomb that went for 80.
Oh, and that was such a beautiful play because Big Brother really found the seam in that secondary, and Little Brother knew right where to put the football and hit him in perfect stride. Bays on the run-pass option, but it will result in a sack, and that's a big loss back to about, they'll spot it at about the 42-yard line.
There must be more than 121 out there because this guy's, Krauskoff's making a lot of plays out there.
You know, the thing is, he's such a graceful wide receiver, but you take a look at this guy. I mean, he's really physically solid and a very physical football player. I mean, he's done it all tonight. Sack moves it back to the 43-yard line. Second and about 14. Running play, they'll get some of that back as they get into Pleasanton territory at the 48. That's Adam Hicks on the carry.
And you're the Greyhounds. You're content to just run this clock. You're up 34-7. The clock goes under. It's under 2 minutes here. You're fine with just running it, burning the clock.
They are wearing the Eagles down a little bit, as they are a much deeper football team. And once again, this is Hicks on the carry. And he's going to move the chains as they mark the ball at the Pleasanton 41.
Yeah, and they're wearing them down, like you said, Paul. And you know, you've had last drive, we saw a lot of Chance Gentry, and now we're seeing Hicks there. So they're rotating them in, keeping them fresh.
Play fake. Bays throws near side. That's a relatively easy pitch and catch there. And on the completion is Coughlin.
First time we've called his name tonight.
It is.
Good catch for him. Again, another receiver. He's spreading the ball around.
Gain of about 6, second and 4. Running play this time. Ball carrier hit behind the line of scrimmage by guess who?
Yeah.
By guess who? Krauskoff has just been a beast tonight.
Jace Krauskoff, tackle.
He's been doing a lot, playing offense, playing defense. He's first in the whirlpool when they get back.
Well, he's put some other people in the whirlpool.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you there are going to be some sore Greyhounds tomorrow. That guy's a big hitter.
I think he was selling popcorn at halftime, too.
He does it all. Third and about 6. Bays on the completion. His brother stays in bounds, and he's going to score. Oh, what an unfortunate event for Pleasanton. It was just a simple out route, but Big Brother Bays stayed in bounds, barely got away, and from that point, it was easy money.
Well, when he turned to go, I think they thought he was going to step out of bounds, and so they just kind of froze on that play, kind of relaxed, and good heads-up play there by Braden just to know where he was and know that he hadn't stepped out and didn't hear a whistle, so he just turned it upfield.
Ballinger on the PAT, and he stayed clean for the evening. So with that, with 24 seconds remaining in the third, Boerne extends the lead to 41-7. Back with the kickoff in just a moment here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Superintendent Tommy Price, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network.
Hey, I got another one for you. And just look at the hole in this line. You could drive a truck right through there. I mean, the refrigerator William Perry could get a first down there. But you know who's going to get their number called for this one? Yeah, that's right, Dr. Ferris. He's like a ligating linebacker. Boom, just like that. And that's why Ferris Orthodontics is going to get the MVP for this one.
Kerry, I would say this brotherly love thing is working out pretty well for Boerne.
You would think we're in Philadelphia. Bays to Bays, fourth time they've connected tonight. And that one, 5-play, 52 yards, 2:10 off the clock.
Another fair catch on the kickoff, but they muff it. And it's going to roll back to inside the 10, but because the fair catch had been called, they will blow it dead at that point.
Yeah, and I think they're saying he didn't touch it. It looked like he might have touched it, but I think they're saying he didn't. So 41-7. Greyhounds in control.
Yeah, and looking back on it, Pleasanton really had a chance to get back in the football game in the waning seconds of the first half, and when they got stopped from the 1-inch line, at that point it's been all Boerne since then.
Yeah, and Greyhounds were favored coming in, and if you're the underdog against the dogs, the Greyhounds, you got to take advantage of every opportunity, and that was just a missed opportunity, and that might have changed the tone at halftime, and it didn't, and Boerne just came out in that third quarter and just put it away.
Fair catch was called on the kickoff, but it was muffed, so they mark it back where they recovered it, back at about the 10-yard line. Running play, nothing doing. You got 9 of 11 Boerne defenders in on that tackle. On what will probably be the final play of the third quarter, and it will, clock at 5. So we'll be back in just a moment with the final 12 minutes. Right now, our score, Boerne very much in control, 41-7, here on the Greyhound Sports Network.
I'm Gina DeWall, the Boerne ISD Athletic Secretary, and you're watching the Greyhound Sports Network. Go Greyhounds!
Ladies, that is how you execute the run-pass option.
All right, guys. In order to live in this community, we need to know important facts. What year was Boerne High School opened?
Back in 1909.
Now, who knows the name of the mascots?
Rowdy and Rita.
Okay. What year did Boerne play its first football game?
Back in 1909.
Coach Oswald.
You know, fun is where you find it. So during the break between quarters, you got the Boerne band playing Chicago's iconic 25 or 6-4, and Kerry beats me to the punch and says, "Do you know what 25 or 6-4 is about?" Tell him, Kerry.
It's about the time on the clock. The guy that wrote the song, he was in they were in Vegas, and he walked into the hotel room it was 25 or 26 minutes to 4 o'clock, and he had this rhythm. He put it down on paper, and the rest is history.
And that's Robert Lamb's story, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, that's what he says, right?
Exactly. Pleasanton with the football, down by a bunch at 41-7.
Ooh.
Ramos keeps it, gets pulled down at about the 16-yard line.
He got hog-tied by Braden Bays.
Yeah, I was almost anticipating maybe a flag coming out, but I guess he didn't touch anything illegal.
And that's a different Bays. He spells it B-A-Y-S.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
But that was a good tackle by Bays. But also a good run, but it's going to be short.
Gain of 6, so it'll be 2nd and 4. Just underway here in what would appear to be the final period, with Boerne leading 41-7. If we get this thing into overtime, you got a scoop. Running play, far side. That's Damon Morales on the carry for the Eagles.
Number 7, Damon Morales on the carry. Tackle was made by number 4.
And it nets the first down out at the 20-yard line. Ramos steps up, throws across his body, but gets the completion. Nice connection there to Isaac Henriksen. And that'll be enough for another Eagle first down out at the 35-yard line.
Tackle was made by Cohen Worth and Houston Hendricks.
Clock stops briefly while they move the chains. Line of scrimmage 35.
And I think Boerne might be bringing guys in and out, letting some of the backups play a little bit more here. Pleasanton probably had a little bit easier time right now, getting a couple first downs.
Boerne looking at a big ball game next week against Antonian. Movement before the snap, and we got somebody in the neutral zone there. That was Braden Bays. Now, we'll see whether he was drawn off. Nope, we're going to call it defensive offside.
We've seen some gold T-shirts in the area, and that's for cancer awareness, children's cancer awareness. So we had something in the gym. Volleyball was playing earlier. They had a big announcement about it, and they're trying to raise money and good cause there.
Yes, it is. We applaud that. 1st and 5 after the offside walk-off. Ramos under pressure, comes to the near side, looking for a place to throw it, dumps it off and does get the completion to Montoya.
First down.
Once again, this is kind of a methodical drive at a time where, frankly, methodical's probably not going to get it done. As you're down by 34 at 41-7 with just under 10 minutes remaining.
And I think Boerne is, like I said, bringing in some guys, letting them play, and is also they're giving them stuff underneath. They're giving them that short 5-6 yard stuff. Just not letting them, trying to prevent them from breaking that big gainer.
Ramos gives it off up the middle. Really nothing going on there at all.
It was Keegan Olds.
Will French.
Yeah.
Brendan Levada.
Who's listed as their backup running back. He's seen limited action tonight. You know, Sean Ramos has been under a lot of pressure tonight. I think for the most part has acquitted himself well. It's kind of an interesting thing. He's given a verbal commitment to Boerne College in Brunswick, Maine. Now, that's a long way from Pleasanton.
Long way to play football.
4-man front. Ramos with the pump fake. Rolls to the far side. We do have a flag down. Throws it away out of bounds, and we'll see what the flag's all about. As it's sitting there at the 44-yard line.
We talked about the Greyhounds. This score is going to be up there with some of the lopsided ones.
Yeah, you know, you were kind of enlightening me on that before the ball game, that really a lot of these have been pretty lopsided with the exception of that classic overtime game last year.
And what's interesting is they're going to back the Eagles up on the penalty, but it was 41-7 in 2019. That was the final, and that's what we're at now. In 18, it was 38-7. In 20, it was 45-20, and then last year, of course, was 39-31. So 4 of the 5 pretty comfortable wins for the Greyhounds.
Penalty moves it back to the 35, where it's 2nd and 20. 4-man overshifted defensive front for the Greyhounds. Pass is complete to Montoya. And he is chased out of bounds by Javi Martinez.
Defending for the Greyhounds number 13, Javier Martinez.
Band's sounding good.
Yeah, got plenty to be happy about. Their team is going to come out of here 2-0.
They moved the band, though. They used to be in the end zone back over there, and now they moved them to the side over here to our left, where we're at in the booth.
Yeah, get them more involved. Absolutely. 3rd and 16 from the 39-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. Again, movement before the snap. This will probably be a free play. Do I see a flag? Actually, not yet. I wonder. So Ramos skedaddles out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
They're wanting the flag.
They sure did.
Coaches are.
Can't imagine why there wasn't one. Be a 4th down, and all indications are that the Eagles are going to punt it away.
Brett Sawyer, the defensive coordinator, was out there wanting a flag, but didn't get it.
Castillo on to punt for the Eagles. Gets it away. It's a high kick. Bays is the return man, just lets it go, and it's going to roll inside the 20 and be killed at about the 16-yard line.
We'd like to announce the Boerne Greyhound Tour sponsors for 2022. Frost, Holcomb Pediatrics, Bases Laboratories, Dog and Pony Grill.
So we'll see what the final stats are offensively tonight for the Greyhounds, but last week against Flower Bluff, and remember, Flower Bluff went to the Class 5A state semifinals a year ago. Last week, Boerne generated 267 yards in total offense. They had 14 first downs, ran it for 145, and passed it for 122 on just 6 completions, as I recall. But they made those count. And they also turned them into 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and didn't have a lot of yards, as you said there, Paul, but that's because they had short fields.
They did.
When you only have to go 20 yards, 25 yards to score, you're not going to get a lot of total yards.
Running play coming near side, not going to get the corner, and pulled down from behind. As on the carry was Adam Hicks.
Close to a horse collar, but looked like it was clean there.
Yeah, I think good no call in this case. Gain of 2.
Yeah, and Hicks just trying to stay in bounds, keep this clock running.
Which it is doing right now with 8 minutes left. Running play off right guard. And picking his way is Adam Hicks once again. Close to first down yardage, but not quite. I don't say. No, actually, they're going to move the chains. Okay.
Adam Hicks on the carry.
Got a good spot.
Got an excellent spot.
Number 19, Daniel Coronado makes the
I thought he was going to be about a yard short.
I sure did.
But he got 2 extra yards.
Yeah.
How
about that?
Boerne Dental Center.
They'll take it, though.
They will, and they'll burn as much time off this play clock as they can. They'd like to snap it with about 3 seconds left. Right now there's 6. Running play coming near side. Hicks again. This time it opens up pretty well. And he's going to be close to another Boerne first down. And they waste no time. They say, yeah, you got it. Let's go.
That's something in film study tomorrow. They'll say, stay in bounds. We're trying to keep this clock going.
Very true. Now, it would have stopped momentarily on the first down anyway, but your point is still very valid. Hicks again. Getting the money's worth out of him. He's got another first down. Nice piece of running.
Ooh, and all kinds of
and a late flag.
Yeah, all kinds of laundry coming in there.
Tackle was made by Aaron Alvarado. Now let's see what the flag's about.
Well, 2 flags.
Well, 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then a third one came out late after the play. So
once again, we have multiple infractions.
Krauskopf coming off the field for Pleasanton. Boy, he deserves a breather.
He's just been outstanding. Well, we've had a lot of conversation time with this officiating crew tonight. They're getting to know each other.
Chop block against the Eagles. Penalties declined. Offset rather.
So it's Bernie Ball, so how's that a chop block?
It can't be. Whatever the call was, it was not that.
I think it might have been reversed. Maybe the Greyhounds had the chop block, maybe, and then Eagles had the other.
Perhaps.
Either way, it's first and 10.
No such thing as a defensive chop block, yeah. So, yeah.
We're right where we started, first and 10 at the 37.
That's Hicks again. And that's a good example of slow to the hole and quick through it. Nice burst. Another first down.
Yeah, but he's going to come out, and that was a good little run. Like you said, he kind of hesitates right there, but he's waiting for the hole to open.
Now watch, floor it. Okay,
Yep.
hit it. Stomp it. Took a big hit at the end, too.
Yeah, kind of stutter steps, waiting for that hole, and it's there, and he hits it, like you said, just quick burst, and gets in a first down.
At the 47-yard line. Bays has done a nice job, to say the least, tonight at quarterback. Running play to T.J. DeMint. Got a gain of about 3.
Greyhounds took over on this drive, 8:36 on the clock, so they've gotten about 2.5 off, and they're going to be very content just to keep this thing going on the ground.
Yeah, and their offensive line has done a good job of firing out on this drive. Ball marked squarely at midfield. Boerne about to start the young season at 2-0. Bays gives it off. Short gain this time. Once again, DeMint on the carry.
TJ DeMint once again on the carry.
You see Ornorf with the pulling guard. You see him cut right in front right there, and it opens a little bit of a hole. He gets a few yards, makes it third and short, third and 5.
Weston Richter, number 44, doing some nice work out front as well. 3rd and 5. Again, that's officially a forward pass, and it goes for absolutely nothing, but they did flip it forward. And officially on the reception is Carson Coughlin.
And Andrew Murillo with the nice stop there. And we've seen that a few times, that little pitch pass. And last year, that was quite a weapon for them. This year, they're kind of struggling to get it going, but it's early in the season yet.
It's 4th down. The Greyhounds say, why now? They're going to drop back probably into a punt formation. And that's the case. Decent roll on the punt. And they'll blow it dead at about the 17-yard line.
17-yard line.
He took 4:20 off the clock on that drive.
That'll make your coaching staff happy.
8:36 took almost half of that off just on that one drive before they had to give it back. And when you got an athlete like Bays who can punt, you know, that's a nice weapon to have.
It is.
Is to have a guy that can throw it if you need it on a fake or something, or run it, or let's go ahead and punt it on a quick kick or just a regular formation punt.
It certainly keeps the defense on their heels.
Whoa.
Running play up the middle, ending in a very sudden stop.
You run into a wall in there?
I mean, you went 60-0 in no time flat.
0 to 60, back to 0.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we are.
Gain of 3. Oh, how about that?
Well, there you are.
Fun night in Boerne. There he is. That's Kerry. That's Kerry Barbosa. That's really him.
We're trying to keep viewers, Paul. We're trying not to scare them off. We don't want to show me. Boom, again.
More convergence by that Greyhound defense.
Ryan Hooper.
Well, what a spectacular showcase tonight, Kerry, for the Bays brothers.
Yes, 4. We have them for 4 touchdowns. That's what we got them for.
They've been magic.
And what I like is about Jackson is he's not just throwing to his brother. He's throwing to a lot of different other receivers as well.
Made some good throws, especially on the slant. Running play. Good effort by Damon Morales. And it clears for the first down. But this one's pretty much in the books, with Boerne leading 41-7 with 2:47 left.
When you mentioned a couple times tonight, you mentioned Rashawn Galloway.
Yeah.
The quarterback. We've seen him on the sideline. He's coming back and visiting. And I was looking up his stats career. He's the all-time Greyhound passing leader. 8,430 yards he threw for in 3 years.
What a wonderful player for a guy for whom football is his second best sport.
Yeah.
Quite the baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, he's on at Texas State and originally talked about playing football and baseball at Texas State, but I think he changed. I talked to him over the summer, and he said he's just going to pretty much focus on baseball.
Which for him, I think, is probably a good decision.
Yeah, and there was talk that he was getting some feelers from some MLB teams about a late draft kind of a thing, but I think he told them, I just at this point, instead of going in the last round, I'd rather just go to college and play college baseball. And they had a good team. Bobcats should have gone to the World Series or had a chance at it.
They really did.
Should have beat Stanford.
Off left tackle, there's a fumble, and I think the Greyhounds have it. They know they do. Let's see who came up with it.
17.
That would be Levada, yeah. Okay, there it is. Ball comes loose. And there is Levada, who gets on it first and then gets covered up. Okay, so this ball game is burning fumes now with 1:36 left.
You could pretty much go into victory formation if you're the Greyhounds, if you want. Looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
Because they got Gentry way back.
Okay, so with this one safely in the cupboard, Boerne looks ahead, as you see a graphic on their upcoming schedule, but that's a big ball game next week against Antonian.
Yeah, real big game. It'll be probably their best test, I think, so far this year.
I would agree. Well, although Flower Bluff pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, and I know the Flower Bluff people were kicking themselves after that game. Yeah, so we'll see rinse and repeat on this victory formation thing, as Bays will just once again take a knee. Clock running, 53 left. So, Kerry, what'd you think? I mean, Boerne jumps out to the big 17-0 lead. You kind of think it may frankly be over then, but then Pleasanton gets back into it and then really had a chance right before halftime, and they let that get away.
Yeah, and against the team that you're the underdog, like we said, you got to take advantage of every opportunity and just not able to, but that's what this is about getting better. You want to win, obviously, but you just want to be ready for district. You want games that get you better, get you prepared. I think this will help Pleasanton get better. They're 0-2, but it's what you do in district that gets you to the next round in the playoffs. So that's what you focus on and just trying to get better.
And the Eagles will host Jourdanton next week. As you can see, the congratulations sportsmanship line is forming as this one is now history. Our final score, Boerne 41, Pleasanton 7. Very impressive performance tonight by the Boerne Greyhounds, and they have delighted that home crowd here on the near side.
Good win, but again, they just like Pleasanton. This is about getting better. They had some holding penalties, probably more than the coach would like, and that's something they're going to have to work on. You're not going to be, we said earlier, you're not going to be playing your best football in late August, early September. So both teams, even though Greyhounds win, still some things to work on for them. So.
Well, which really is the situation you want as a coach.
Yeah.
You want to win the football game. If you can win it handily, that's fine, but you want just enough stuff that you can harp on in the coming week. And Coach Hendricks is going to have that.
Yeah, and to where the players just, aren't, well, that was easy. We don't really have to do a whole lot. Yeah, there's stuff we got to work on because, we kind of let some opportunities hurt us there and hurt our return team, special teams. Had some nice bays returns wiped out, and so it's definitely stuff to make them keep focused. Going forward.
We want to thank all of our viewers for sharing part of their Labor Day weekend with us. If you're a Boerne fan, your Labor Day weekend is off to a good start. They're going to play the alma mater here on the near side. We've enjoyed this very much. We're wishing you a safe and sane holiday weekend. So for my partner, Kerry Barboza, I'm Paul Alexander, wishing you good evening from Boerne.